Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining to yet another second session of Business Talk with the trusted partner by CCIS. The platform which we consider to be a virtual platform for bringing businesswomen and businessmen together and exchanging the information and opportunities relevant to the business community. So while we are already with exchanging information, question, advice, of course, you can share yours in message box below, and then I will read it later at the end of the business talk. So today we are boosting our digital online presence, how to present your brand online and gain visibility in the digital space. We are stepping into the digital world today, and it is my pleasure to welcome among us our guest of honor, Ms. Mirjana Bosancic from company CCIS, and who I consider to be a great expert in the field of digital marketing. Mirjana, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Ines. Such a nice introduction. Thank you that I can be here, and then I'm very happy to speak with you and maybe with any other person today that is interested in anything connected to digital marketing. Thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward.
It's my pleasure. Mirjana, so today here it's 2 p.m. How many meetings did you already had during the day?
Well, today I tried to make it a bit more easygoing because of what we had here. So I had more internal meeting and more organization for next week's that are incoming. So yeah, a bit more easy day than it will be tomorrow or next week.
Great, nice to hear you that. So of course, you in introduction, you were already informed that we are stepping into the digital space. So we will talk about today's trend in the digital world, how to be visible online, which is something that is very important today because you already know, because of all this crisis, we are stepping from one to another. We can do more on digital presence. So Mirjana, can you explain us in a few words what your company is about here?
Okay, of course. So our company name is VSI.si. I'm part of quite a big team already of search engine optimization experts and web development experts. We are basically building up custom-made strategies for company in Slovenia or for companies in other countries that want to gain visibility, want to gain inquiries, want to gain partner over their website or over their, let's say, social media. So everything connected digital. We are trying to put everything in a nice, let's say, we are thinking outside of the box, but we want to, take care of all the pillars for a company.
Great, thank you for the introduction word. So I noticed below your logo, there's is this your slogan, always on top?
Yes, that's our slogan.
Is this tied to the SEO optimization, to be on the top, to be visible in Google?
Yes, good, correct. It's exactly like that. So we, especially in last 2 years, if companies don't realize or didn't realize how important it is to be there and to be visible and to be there when somebody is searching for you, then to be honest, I don't think if they ever will, or I hope they will in the future. But yeah, always on top is kind of our motto. We found it catchy, so now we are using it for quite some years, and it caught up also with our international partners. And I think it's a kind of a good, it has a good sound to it.
Yes, indeed. I like it a lot. So this is something then reflects your job. Yeah. When you said something, I would like to go back that it is important to be visible. So I would like to highlight some important findings that I gather via various searches such as Gartner, eMarketer, BCG research, and I would like to dare you to think about these findings, or ask about these findings, which is quite nice picture in what way we are going now. So one of the findings from the Gartner is that when B2B buyers are considering a purchase, more time is spent on independent research online, less is spent on meeting potential suppliers in a virtual world. So we are back again, how to be visible. So then you need to be visible because someone is looking about your product and service, and he will find your competitor and not you. So then again, this is a finding that confirms your statement that companies need to be more aware about this importance.
Yeah, indeed, you're right. There was this one study, or let's say, I gathered lots of my information also from Eurostat and also from the sources that you said. And for example, they were calculating like last 2 years how everything impacted business to business related, mostly business to business related industries, and it went up to 87%, especially in some Mediterranean countries, that up to 87% companies searched and find a new partner over Google. That simple as it is, At the same time, everybody is giving like this crazy major budgets for big offline commercials, or they're giving like millions to TV for some TV commercial. I'm not saying that's bad and wrong, but I think we need to see the facts. Somebody searches for a supplier, they write in, I don't know, like let's say hardwood supplier, log supplier, I don't know, printed circuit PCB supplier. For sure, companies that are in first 10 of results have more chance to be clicked, to be visited. That is just a very simple fact, and numbers are also saying that. So yeah, it connects to what you said, definitely. Especially
yes,
in Corona
of course. I know that here in Slovenia we have a lot of initiatives from the government that companies can use when they are establishing a web page or web store, or to be present in foreign countries, of course. And because of that, you have a lot of demands.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. And what I also see is that people would like to do everything. They would like to go, to be visible in the whole, let's say, world or Europe. But I think here we really need to be a bit more focused and to really know what we want and which market interests us, and to really explore that market thoroughly before deciding to enter. And there's a big, like in the last 2 years, is a huge demand. Now everybody wants a website, everybody wants a web store, everybody wants some social media solution. But I still see that there is lots of room for mentoring and coaching here, because people just think, okay, I will just put like one, which is okay, we are here to learn. But people, I would really like to help people see that there's so much strategy behind it. Why you do something that you do, and really depends on the industry that you're in as well.
Okay, so you already started in which way the trend is going with marketing for the companies. And now, since you already mentioned that you want to learn the companies to see how it is important, can you tell me what mistakes are made by companies, and what would you like to warn them to look out for when they're stepping into the digital world?
Yeah, of course, happily. Like like in almost most cases of the companies that come to us, I see that they didn't really research the country they want to go to. Everybody's thinking, at least in Slovenia, most of the companies really want to go to Germany, which is normal. It's like the industrial technological giant. it makes sense. And people also, that there's lots of export, as you know, to Germany, and there's lots of, it's really a good collaboration. But if we think about someone who never did anything in Germany and now is like, okay, yes, Germany, or it doesn't need to be Germany. It can also be, I had quite some companies that are now interested in Mediterranean or in Greece, in Spain. And the biggest mistakes are, the first one, they don't really research if that product is even important, if that product is sought for in that country, or they don't research who else is doing something similar. How are they doing? They are not, these are not even so much digital marketing aspects as aspects of selling somewhere else, but it all intertwines in this one, it all works together. And somehow the same with that, I see if we transfer this conversation completely to the web, they don't have a website in the local language. We really need to know that if we are tackling markets such as French, Hungarian, Polish more and more, Greek, Italian, and there's bunch more of these countries, that it's really important that we have it in local language. And also, if for example, we are interested to export something or to work with Greece, the website needs to be in Greek alphabet. That is just a fact. We need to adapt to the user, to the end user, who is indeed Greek or French or Polish, and they speak that language. So lots of companies think, okay, I will make a website in English, and now I want to conquer the whole world with this website and sell everything, or sell my services, or get partners, or sell my product. So first thing is, I would say local language. It really depends on the case. Sometimes I even say, okay, you are so niche that it's enough that it's in English, because you're doing something that everybody is searching for, that product only in English. But to be honest, like 70%, 80 even of searches will be in native language. The second one that's very connected to that is also that they don't use the local domain. So domain is, let's say, company.com. So the last part of domain, if you are really serious about some country, let's say you say, okay, Germany is very important, you do a German website, and then you have in Slovenia, a lot of times I see it's .si/de, which is basically a Slovenian website translated in German, which for Google is not a really good solution, and also for user. Like we all know that our users like to go on local domains. They trust it. It's just a level of trust, because there's so much of spam websites and so much of companies that are not real, that if we have somehow a local domain, so if we are interested in Germany, we make a domain .de in German language. If we are interested in Netherlands, that it's .nl, Italy.it, that would be something that I would really advise if you're really focused on one country, or even two. Let's say if you're focused to bring your business to France, then for sure it should be in French language and .fr, and for Italy.it, these are kind of first steps how you should step into this digital space of your new web space or e-commerce. Then what I see a lot is that there's no keyword research. So nobody researches how somebody from that country is searching for certain industries, or how are they searching for certain products. We all think, oh yeah, that's how you call, let's say I have quite some clients who work with PCB, so these are printed circuit boards, and if we would just have in mind that they call them in German language PCB or Leiterplatten, those would be like two keywords. And if we wouldn't do this research, we would not know that there's like 600 keywords in German language that represent that product. And if we know how people search for it, we have a couple of tools that are also for free that are easily usable and that people can really find how is my client in certain countries searching for my services. If we know that, we did really a lot already. And it's kind of how you build the whole story of yourself and your company in some other country. Then maybe here what I would like to add, because it happened somehow this week that I had 3 cases of that they translated the website, but with Google Translator, they had this automatic Google Translator thing turned on, which is also like a plugin that WordPress allows. That's really also not okay, you know, like the Google doesn't read that. If we want to rank ever in that language, it's not possible because Google just doesn't read that content, you know. So these are kind of, you know, the biggest mistakes when it comes to wanting to be visible at the same time and wanting to have a website, wanting to gain some new sales in other country. But on the other hand, you know, there's so much of research here to be done, really. And maybe I would like to emphasize that also, you know, having a website that's super flashy and super fancy and lots of graphics and everything is opening everywhere, that doesn't really go with European markets. I think we should focus more on quality of the website, on architecture, on website speed, on those kind of things that will help Google as a search engine at the same time and also user. And maybe just to kind of put it, because I don't want to talk at once too much, but maybe something to say is also that people don't realize how important is search engine optimization, so to be visible on Google. And they give, let's say, I see many cases that they give 10,000 euros into Google Ads. I just had actually a meeting. He says, I give 60,000 euros per month for Google Ads. They have one software. But they didn't want to give even 500 euros per month for SEO because, yeah, it doesn't sell immediately. Yeah, it doesn't sell immediately, but you know, once you stop giving those 50,000 euros, it's like you never give any money anywhere. And with SEO, if you do it correctly, those organic results will just pile up, and your website will be worth really a lot after a couple of years of working that. You know, I think we need to kind of focus on what kind of industry we have and what do we want to advertise, what are our goals. There's so many questions here, actually.
I agree with you. There's a lot of questions, but nevertheless, you have, I think that advantage online marketing is that you also have some kind of tools that you can find some or research some information that are needed when you want to establish a visibility. You know, it's easier than offline. You can do a survey in Germany market. You need to go there. You need to ask people. But you have such a nice and good tools. Some of are free of charge to use them to a little bit research about the potential and what to look at, what kind of words do you use. So a lot of mistakes you mentioned. So basically the most important is to have the right domain.
Yes.
You already said I mean, it's no use to have company.si/de, which is for the Germany market, and basically that means that a German person is looking in German language in Slovenian Google, which
Yeah.
it's not likely. Yes. So
especially
we
in Slovenia, not very likely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the most important part. Then the words. You need to do your homework and research the words, the key search in your target market, of course. And what are the three more? Sorry, I was.
So yeah, local market, like you said, language, local language is important,
Yeah,
and to also see, you know, maybe because now I said like that's the only truth. No, there are many truths to this. It really depends on the industry, but mostly local language is preferred, and people like to read also reviews in their, you know, reviews about company in their own language because they trust it more. But of course, there are exceptions. There are exceptions, and with some companies, you can kind of cover the whole Europe and, of course, USA and Canada with English language. But there are very few. You know, we are talking just couple from hundreds.
Yes. So, dear guests, these are some main bullets you need to look out when you are doing with your web page, of course. But what about mobile phones? I have another finding that 80% of customers use mobile devices through various stages of the B2B purchase route. This is the research from BSG Research Group. So what do you think about computer versus mobile applications? I mean,
well, you mean desktop versus mobile, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's very. I think it's very. The demand for mobile-friendly websites was already there a few years ago. Now it's just getting more and more important that when I'm on my phone and I check things, that everything works how it should. The thing is that what we are experiencing when we check all the data, that lots of let's say when we try to inform ourselves about things, we use mobile phones a lot, also with B2B. But when it comes to sending an inquiry, it seems that these mobile users then go sit in peace on their desktop and then, you know, finish the job. So basically, the website needs to be adjusted for both mobile users and desktop users. If we check the percentage of conversions, of course, for B2B businesses, desktop is still the main one who will, the main device from which somebody will send an inquiry. While if you're B2C and selling, let's say, shoes, food, spreads, clothes, proteins, you know, vitamins, then mobile is already winning over the PC. So yeah, mobile is very important, and even a few years ago, they were kind of developing a website that would mostly just work on mobile because they thought it will completely overshine the desktop. That didn't happen, and I don't think that will happen. But mobile friendliness is super important, of course. I don't think there is a website anymore that's not friendly to, like, in the last year, I think they're not made anymore. It's almost impossible to make it if it's not mobile friendly. So that's really important, I hope.
Okay, so before we are heading to the questions, because I see that some questions are already in the inbox. I would just like to ask you, so you're helping the companies in foreign countries as well, Slovenian companies or foreign companies here in Slovenia or other markets. So basically you're working globally, but how do you work then? Do you have a native speaker in these different target countries? Do you have a translation service? Do you, in what way do you operate in order to help companies to be visible in desired market?
Well, it really differs on the market. For many of them, we have basically already some native speakers that we are in, let's say, freelancers that we work with for already 10 years, and they are covering Italian, Serbian, Italian, Croatian, German, Dutch, English, these kind of languages. They're covering it. They are partners, so we work, with them. And other things the software does, and people who already, we have one employee that worked 15 years on UK, USA, and Australian market. So he kind of brought with him a huge array of websites and blogs that from which we can link to, so the websites can reach better positions. For more exotic languages, if we talk about let's say Chinese, or Russian is maybe not a good point to say now, but also for that, we have partners that are in the Netherlands, and they're one of the biggest agencies in the world that they have. Then we kind of exchange. We do one thing and they do the part when it comes to languages. So yeah, we kind of want to, we have these partnerships all over that we want to maintain for a long time, and it helps. So it's not really an issue for the language. Till now, it wasn't really. And mostly, if we are honest, most of the companies from outside of Slovenia want to actually be visible in this XU area, and most of XU area wants to be visible in German-speaking and English-speaking and maybe Spanish-speaking markets.
Okay, so basically you're operating through your partners in foreign countries then, and I guess as more partners, the better it is. So I guess again that you are always open for any kind of cooperation with other companies.
Definitely, that is always we have really good relationship with our partners that are doing also the same, but just in other countries. So, or they have added value somewhere else, and it's always great. So if anybody else has anything, I would be happy to connect with you and see how we can work together. That is always good.
Great. So okay, so Miriam, I will write you the first question from Miss Natasha. Okay. What is the name of the free tool? I guess this was still tied to the searching engine, and I mean for the keyword search.
Yeah, there is quite some tools. The one that I really like to use, and that also helps to write blogs and to see how people even, because right now people are questioning things where they are like, I don't know, what is the best tool for this, and this. I would maybe highlight here answerthepublic.com. Answer the Public is when you come to that website, you just choose the language, you put your main keyword in, and then you will see all the interaction with that keyword in that language. And I think it's a very helpful tool, and it also shows you what kind of things connected to what kind of prolonged keywords people typed in next to that keyword. Otherwise, if you have Google Ads account, you can have some, let's say you can build up a general keyword list on Google Keyword Planner. It can give you kind of a general overview what's happening, and that also doesn't cost. It's not so accurate if you don't have an account open there, so you're not spending money, but it can show you a bit what's happening. So yeah, we said, but for me, I think if we really talk about completely free ones, Answer the Public has a couple of queries per day that can help you. Also, SEMrush has 10 inquiries per day for free, and other than that, it gets quite expensive. So that's also good. And yeah, Keyword Planner. There's also others, but to be honest, if you really want to have a good research, yeah, it's mostly paid. But let's not forget about Google Trends. Huh? If you check Google Trends, you just type in your browser Google Trends, and you can say how many, like in the span of a year, how important was this keyword or this term, or you can see you can get quite some information. And quite some clients decide if they are dealing with dropshipping, Google Trends kind of helps them to see what to sell in which part of the season, you know.
So it depends on your business, then you can use different tools, of course, you can rely on. But
yeah.
if you choose, I mean, if you choose a very strong word, maybe this is not good because there are too much. I mean, I imagine that if I choose a word where is a daily search, like, I don't know, 100 searches on a global scale, this is not good then if you use this word, because you will be lost among all your competition.
Of course, I agree that I agree. When I said general keyword, I didn't mean like if you're selling like if you're selling, let's say, cars, but like specific cars, you will not optimize for car because that is not really a keyword that will make like this. Yes, everybody writes in car, but not the ones who actually will buy your specific brand of the car. So I meant general keyword, something that is really connected to you and that you already kind of know that people are searching in that way, which you can check either in Keyword Planner, Google Trends, and then you put it in Answer the Public. Answer the Public works a bit better with keywords that have some more search, because if we have a bit more general keywords, with general keywords we form sentences or questions, and Answer the Public is showing all those questions that are connected to some, let's say, product that we do. Like if I was mentioning before printed circuit PCBs, so printed circuit boards, I would not mind just putting PCB in, because that is quite exact for that company. And then you can see what all phrases are people, in what kind of phrases are people questioning that product, or how are they searching for, let's say, PCB suppliers, manufacturers, these kind of things. So yeah, also that it's not an easy task. I cannot say it's so easy. You need to spend quite some time and kind of focus what is most important for you. Definitely, it doesn't go. You cannot do it in one day. Definitely.
Of course, you need to put some effort and time in searching this. That's why bigger companies have their own departments when they're dealing with all this stuff that you were just describing. So we are going to the next question now. Sonia, hi Sonia. Sonia is asking, how often do you estimate a website should be updated?
Well, depends on which platform. But usually the open coded websites or platforms as WordPress, we do it once per month. We update it once per month. And if you have some closed systems, then it's more like when you need something, you need that programmer to just go through it. But when you have something more complex as Magento and so on, it can be, you know, every month you need to do something. And then every half a year, a bit bigger of an update. So if you go for open source CMS system, I would definitely advise for WordPress, because it's quite, if you manage it on a monthly level, you need like 1 or 2 hours per month and you're fine. You know, you don't complicate your life. You don't complicate your life too much with that.
Okay, great. No complication here. So another question, do you feel, another from Sonia, do you feel that the importance of a digital presence has increased significantly over the past 2 years? And moving forward, will this continue as we ease back to in-person meetings again? So do you think it's increased and it will ease back when we are going back to reality?
Thank you, Sonia, for question. Definitely, it increased significantly. Like right now, when we were doing a yearly analysis of what was happening now these 2 years and before, so then you compare the results, you know, it's really unfair to compare anything to those 2 years, because everybody was online, everybody was purchasing, especially in 2020 was a crazy year. Everybody was purchasing everything over internet, and it's kind of a year that it's not fair to compare it to anything else, because it's not a fair comparison, because the whole complete, let's say, the user behavior really changed and everything went super towards online shopping and online meetings and online getting partners and just trying to, you know, get suppliers over, or suppliers or manufacturing partners over the internet to get as fast as you can before somebody else takes them, because also, you know, the whole situation with getting supplies is not so easy nowadays. And what I think it will happen is that, you know, it's kind of already embedded in us that we use internet for everything. But maybe it will be just, you know, I imagine it like this, and I already maybe see it a bit, that they maybe send an inquiry, and then they want to meet. So like the first step is internet. And then, you know, people are already quite missing also this personal connection, which is normal, thank God, you know. But I think that the first two steps even, I think they will stay online. It's just how the world turns. I think here it will not be just this time of cold calls is over, I think.
Great, thank you. Based on my experience, I can say that the business travels will reduce, of course, because majority of that will be online, and then the final line, the finish, will be done in person. And the other thing is that when we are preparing now, we are back with we don't have any limitation regarding the events now here. So, but nevertheless, the people are asking if this is in a hybrid way, or if could be done in a hybrid way. So that means that half of the public will be online and half of the public will be in person. So, and this is quite challenging for us who are organizing this stuff, because suddenly we need to deal with another level of technical issues, you know. So I think that there's no going back again to old reality. We are stepping into a new digital world and new real world, actually. So this is my humble opinion. So, okay, but another question then, does CPKC have translation service? I think that we already answered to that question in previous talk when you were talking about your partners. So mostly a lot of you work through your native speaking partners. So this is the best translation.
Yeah, and maybe to add here, it's also important, you know, it's not just to translate. You need to see if your translation is in, let's say, SEO is correct. So we need to translate and use the keywords and words and phrases on the website that people search for. Even if maybe some other word would be a bit more, let's say, sophisticated or grammatically correct, I think, you know, there can be translation done, or there can be a translation that also had this SEO background check. But yeah, of course, we do offer translations, but it's a bit more expensive than just a normal translation because of this SEO aspect.
Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, we are already at the 40-minute business talk. So if you don't have any questions related to our guests, related to digital present, then I would say thank you very much again for your application for our business talk. You're most welcome to next session, which will be 2 weeks from now. Next week we are skipping because we have a big event at the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you again. Have a nice day, nice afternoon, and we will keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you everyone from me as well. Thank you, Ines.
Thank you. Bye.